Just bring me a pack of backwoods and a slush.
Slim, I ain't gonna hold you. You might be waiting for a minute, Mo. I mean, I don't even know when we finna be back. You know we outside. It's a new year, and we outside. Run your mouth and we pull up. Yeah, we outside. You got problems, we can solve them, cause we outside. Dollar, I'm a Pioneer City baby. Nana tried to save me, but I go where they pay me. Yeah, the flow is wavy, deeper than the Navy. And the bass kicking like a D-boy in the 80s. Yeah, my whole family spent time on that grimy block. Outside 24, ducking shots, not a shotty clock.
Okay, I thought it was gonna bounce. It's only like bouncing in here. So when you guys do this a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Can y'all do one more? Not with me.
Do a shoot off staffing.
Yeah. Like, what part of your body hurts right now?
Shoulder, chest.
Sheesh. Good job. Thank you. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Faded Truth. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and supporting the growth. I'm so excited to be closing out season 4. We got the last one, save the best for last.
I that.
Got pro wrestler, actor, dancer, TV personality, Kratom professional, and everyone's favorite bachelor, Kenny King.
Well, dang. I need to hire you to be my PR lady. That's way better than my last PR person. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I had to throw that little dig in the end.
Yeah.
Your other media, I was like, oh, we have to get into it.
I noticed that you saved that last little bit. All right. I'm okay. But it's true. I'll take it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming to FSW here at Future Stars of Wrestling.
Yes, we're live in the ring. Future Stars of Wrestling, y'all. I'm in the ring, okay? I'm excited.
So we're not gonna. You don't want to learn how to like suplex and body slam and pop.
Just in case.
Okay.
Look, I'm not scared. I've been doing Muay Thai. That's my thing. This is a little too. I don't grapple.
Do you like Muay Thai?
Yeah, I like Muay Thai.
Nice.
I love kicking shit. I always love boxing. So I'm like, I feel like it's a great workout because I was feeling like I worked out like in the gym my whole life. I've done competition, things like that. But I feel like now I've done it so much that it's not a therapy for me anymore.
Okay.
Like my mind is like if I'm lunging across my driveway in my gym, like I'm still thinking about my issues or something I have to do later. It's not like I don't have to put my full focus, right? Because I know I'm not going to fuck it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas with Muay Thai, I can't fuck it up because I'm going to get hit in the face.
Amen. And they will hit you in the face. Yeah.
So, hold on. Mike's calling us. He's getting the fucking wine at 7-Eleven.
Wine and water,
Just get us 2 4-packs. White Zinfandel, okay?
No, whatever.
He's not picky either. Just whatever it is, just get it here. Get some water.
Some water and some wine.
All right. That's what I love. We'll fetch a wine for you.
But that's a good interruption, right? That's a good.
I'll interrupt any day for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so from Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. I never really feel like I meet people that are like from Florida. It's like usually everyone moves because I'm from Jersey.
I'm from New York originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Queens. Born and raised in Queens, and then I moved to Florida, just like everybody does. Everybody goes from up north to Florida.
Yeah.
Hardly. I mean, you got some people that are from there, but most people are snowbirds.
Right. And then how'd you make it to Vegas?
So I was in Florida. I went to school in Florida, and my sophomore year, I played football. Florida State, transferred to University of South Florida, and then my sophomore year, I think. So my parents had already moved to Las Vegas. So I transferred from University of South Florida to UNLV to play football, and then
I saw that you got a red shirt.
Yeah. So what happened is it was well, let's just say somebody was salty that I was transferring, so they held my transcripts. So I had to I didn't really redshirt. I had to forfeit a year of eligibility. So I had to give up a year of NCAA eligibility. I couldn't play the 2001 season, so I just had to come here. I pretty much came here for nothing, and then that's how I got into wrestling. I got on Tough Enough November of 2001. And that's
I have 2002.
Well, that's when it aired.
Wikipedia. He didn't send his bio, guys, so Wikipedia lying over here.
But it aired. No, it aired 2002. But 2001 is when I shot it.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. That was like your first entrance into wrestling with the WWE Tough Enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it just kind of spiraled. You kept doing things. I saw you worked with a lot of different people
there,
and were learning from people. So, like, when you get into wrestling, is it like foreign? Like, are you already watching wrestling when you're growing up? Like,
no, I've been a wrestling fan like my whole life.
Okay.
Like as a kid, like I was watching, I'm gonna date myself. As a kid, I was watching Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and The Ultimate Warrior, and then it didn't stop. Like as I grew up, I mean, as a teenager, I was still watching like The Rock and Stone Cold, and but it's not like now. Like back then, it was like, well, how do you become a wrestler? Right? There's not like now you can get on the internet and look up wrestling schools. You might as well be an astronaut. There was nowhere that you could go to kind of learn how to do it. So. When I was actually in my dorm room watching the first season of Tough Enough, like, yo, I think I can do that. As a matter of fact, I know I can do that.
did you make your own outfits?
Well, I mean, you kind of have to, but I would always do like, my parents would be mad because I would cut holes in towels and do the Macho Man thing, and then I'd get the glasses. And, oh, yeah. But yeah, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, but I was an athlete. I played football, so I never really felt like, things would happen like that until it kind of did.
Yeah, because I just came in here while you were training, and the way that you were doing it, it's like still choreographed and like it's still athletic to where it's like, I don't know, it's not as foreign as people think, I guess, because I don't think people realize the training you have to do to like actually wrestle, because you will get hurt if you don't, like, if you and your partner are like off and you don't know what the fuck's going on. Right?
It's body coordination. And you have to just be really, really self-aware. Like you have to be aware of with football, you kind of just have to be, you can kind of play with like reckless abandon. Like I just want to launch myself like a missile and whatever happens. But with wrestling, you really have to be cognizant of like what's going on. Sometimes there's 5 people in the ring. Sometimes it's just someone, but then there's a referee, and you have to be really mindful of what's happening. If your opponent is tired, they may not be able to, their perception might be off. You have to save somebody, catch them. Like there's a lot of things going on. There's more, and I feel like that's kind of fell in love with it, because from Tough Enough, I was like, there's way more to this shit than I had any idea.
There's
like
a lot going
you
on.
just felt like it was just, I'll just do this and blah blah blah. But like when you really get to it, like damn, and that's what with my students I have to be like, you have to do this, get comfortable enough to where you stop freaking out about everything that's happening at once because
there's a lot. I mean, I came in and I was like, oh, going. So I've actually been here before once, because I came for Ice Williams' match.
Yeah.
He was like one of my first interviews, probably in 2020.
That's my dog, Ice Williams.
Yeah, so he
Faction
actually
up.
invited me here, and that's when I like first even. I'm like, wrestling's a thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know, like Mike's fanboying over here because he's like, oh my god, I could be here 5 days a week. He's like, this is the best. Hello.
Hey Rock, how's it going? Good. It's all good, man. I'm just glad to rock it too. This is one of the owners of
here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Thank you for letting us use your space.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you, man. We have a lot of what we have here at FSW, man. It's sitting right in that ring right there.
You're the man, Rocky. I appreciate you, bro.
His home as it is mine.
My man. Shout out to Ice Williams.
Ice.
Nah, he's one of my students, man. He still
works out here?
Yeah, he still wrestles here. Nah, he's come such a long way, man. He's so good. It's crazy.
How did you start training here, though? Like, how did you get into Future Stars of Wrestling?
So I've been wrestling for a long time, and the other owner of FSW is a guy that when I was training, when I was after Tough Enough, I was training at a school that's kind of like right behind the Rio. It was called the Ultimate Wrestling Federation, the Las Vegas Pro Wrestling Academy, same thing. But so I would kind of really, it was smaller than this, half this size. But we'd go in there train. It'd be hot. We didn't have air conditioning. We'd go in there train. So that guy was an announcer. So all those years later, FSW's we just did our 14th anniversary. So 14 years ago, he was like, hey, man, I really think I want to kind of bring wrestling to Vegas. I want to see if we could do something. And I was like, yeah, all right. So we did a couple of shows. And I think around the third or fourth years when the school, like, he was like, I want to have a school and I want to kind of get involved. And I wasn't at that point, like, ready to be a coach or nothing like that. Man, I'm still good, man. I ain't trying to do none of that. But I feel like now I've probably been coaching here like 8 years. And I feel like that is, I don't know, it's something I see, like these kids, man, I see a portion of myself, like at that level, like that hunger, that love, the wanting to be in here till 10 o'clock at night, every single night. That kind of, like, that fuels me as much as I hope they give to me what I give to them. So
do you feel like that was the first time that you like really helped people out, like as far as making a change in people's lives or making an impact on people's lives, like when you started training?
Yeah, I feel like that is the probably the most, like, I've done things like where through wrestling done like different charity things. I played like with the Wounded Warriors, or like I went down to D Street and like, you know, like handed out like food and things like that with different charity organizations. But like that's kind of like very general, just helping humanity. Like when you see someone that can't do a specific maneuver and they're like struggling with it, and then you just kind of like watch them mature, and then all of a sudden they can do it, and then they're on to the next thing. Like that's a very specific way that I feel like, okay, man, I help someone, advance someone. So it's definitely the most rewarding, because I can help people in the specific. I can watch people's progress. Like my inbox is flooded with matches for my students. Like, can you watch this? Can you watch this? I'm like, yo, I don't like watching wrestling. But
I don't listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so I don't watch wrestling. So the only wrestling I watch is my students' matches. So yeah, it's definitely been a fulfilling thing for me.
So we actually met at Champs trade shows, and I did like a little clip of Liz.
Shout out to Liz.
And she was telling me about the Kratom, and that's how you guys. He knew that he saw you because he was like staring at you. He was like, oh, I think I know that guy. I'm like, go talk to him.
Yeah, and he came over. I was like, Mike? I was like, yeah. This is a small town. Yeah. Really, really small town.
So 1836 Kratom. I want to talk about just what I found out what Kratom is, because somebody told me about this maybe 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, you should start talking about Kratom. You talk about plant medicine, like, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, like, don't care. And then now it's like coming back, and now it's like popping off, like how mushrooms are popping off. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, Kratom plant from Southeast Asia, similar to coffee. It boosts energy, reduces anxiety and depression, a natural painkiller in replace of opioids. It's normally a tea, but now it's popular more in powder and capsules. And Liz was explaining like that there's different leaves, like green, white, light, dark. There's like special strains on the site. So like, let's just get into it. So like, how do you even like get into Kratom?
The owner of the company is a guy that I grew up with. Shout out to 1836 Kratom. Shout out to Jeremy Setting. He's a guy that we've been best friends for a really long time. He was he'll never tell you, but he was this close to like being a country music superstar. Oh, wow. And you know, shit happens, and it just didn't happen. He fell a little short, and then he just got into Kratom. Like he was taking Kratom and he was using it for his own personal use, and just kind of fell in love with it. Like, well, hell, if I'm using this and other people are using it, why not try to sell it? So he started a Kratom company literally out of his garage, and started it in I believe he started it in Nashville. Started it in Nashville, and then moved to Austin, and then like just blew the whole thing up. Like that's where the company's based out of Austin now, and that's so I get into it. I kind of, you know, we're friends, so I'm seeing, oh, you got this business going on, oh, that's cool. You give me some stuff, and so in parallel, I'm hearing about Kratom in the wrestling business. Like a couple of the some wrestlers are like, oh man, like have you heard of this stuff Kratom? Like, no, I haven't heard of any of that stuff. And like, oh, like I like to take it after matches. It kind of like, you know, some people smoke, some people take pills, other people take. Right. So the ones that were like kind of weaning themselves off the pills were like, nah, man, I take this Kratom stuff, and it kind of like gives me the same like after match, like when I get numb, I don't feel like the aches and stuff, like, because after a match, once your adrenaline runs off, like you really start to feel it. Right. So everybody kind of has their post-match, whatever it is that you do, right? So so Kratom, that's kind of how I first started hearing about Kratom, and then and then, it simultaneously happens, and then there was a champs here. God, now it's like 3 years ago. He was like, "Hey man, I'm coming to Vegas. I'm doing this trade show. Why don't you come through?" And then I came through, saw what was going on. I was like, "Damn, this is pretty cool." So then the next time I came through, and I think I was tag team champions at the time, so I brought one of the belts, and I was signing 8x10s, and then we went to the Arnold, and I did that at the Arnold, and then I started to kind of all right, well, let me see what this is about. And then I started kind of taking it, and then I started to kind of get involved in it, and then now I kind of believe in it. Like I really dig the movement. I think that it is medicine. I think, in my opinion, Kratom is right now where CBD was a couple of years ago, where it's on the cusp, where people a couple of years ago didn't know, is CBD weed? What is this? What is it? Is it good? Right.
Because there's a lot of regulations.
Yes.
I was looking at how this is being regulated around the country, and it's like people want it to get regulated so that it can't be adulterated.
Yes.
But they have the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, which I know Nevada has it, so it just means that you can't put too much of the compounds into it.
It's basically I'm not sure. I know there's one that just passed in Texas, and it's basically just there is an American Kratom Association, and they set kind of guidelines for testing and what you have to be really kind of specific and forthcoming with what's in the product, right? This is exactly what's in it. This is how much metrogenine's in it. That's what's the active chemical is in Kratom. How much metrogenine, the percentages. They do something in the industry which is called black or white labeling, where they'll just get a block of Kratom from somebody, and then they'll just put it in this bag. We don't want to do that. We don't want any Kratom coming from someone's basement or underneath somebody's bed. We want all of the Kratom to be regulated, tested, so that so that all of the fear and all of the unsurety can kind of go away.
Yeah, I like how you guys had a thing there too for if you're sober.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a warning. I was laughing at Liz when she pulled out the thing because she had that same big ass.
What is Kratom?
What's Kratom? Fucking 10 paragraphs, and I'm like, jeez. But then I was looking at it, and I'm like, it makes sense because when I started the podcast is when I first learned that people can come off heroin with weed. Mm-hmm. And this, the plant helps people come off opioids, So I was like, that's amazing. It's just amazing what plants can do and how, it can really, change you. But then also, it says on there, if you're looking for something that's not a mind-altering thing, then I would stay away from it, because it's not a drug, but it is altering something. Now,
I want to say that just to be said, it's not a FDA proven statement that it helps people, come off opioids. Oh, no. But it is, some people have said that is a thing. You know what I mean? So that's not something that we necessarily claim. But I know somebody. I mean, it really no claims being made. But there's a lot of people that have used Kratom to get off of all different sorts of vices. Right. Me, myself, personally, at the Arnold last year, I ran into a guy that I've known in wrestling for 10 years and got into alcohol real bad and really messed his life up and messed his career up with alcohol. And he kind of was looking up at the banner, the Kratom sign brought him over, and he looked down and he's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And he was telling me about man, I started taking Kratom about 3 years ago when I hit rock bottom. I got to stop drinking. And he's like, "Man, Kratom helped me get my life back together." So he's married. He's got, he's got shit back together. So it has definitely helped.
Okay, so what's in our box?
So this is one of our sample boxes. So this is one of our info cards. That is all of our Kratom. So like you said, there are three main strains of Kratom. There's white, red, and green. And it works a little bit like weed, where sativas give you energy, or uppers, and indicas give you, indica gives you a little bit more of a body relaxation, and then hybrids do a little bit of both. Reds are for more relaxation, more calming effects. Whites have a focusing effect, and green is for energies. So what we do, we have the right white, red, and green Kratom, but we also do a lot of blending of the strains. And that, if you look at the key there, it says each one of those has they're rated in focus or relief or mood, focus, energy, focus. Right. Asterisks. So each one of those, so you get to kind of see, all right, what do I want to feel? Do I want? So this is our a mix of all of them, the red, white, and greens. This is our whitest white Shangri-La. This is a good mix of our red and whites. This is our deep reds. And then those are our like our main.
Was it Aristotle's?
So Aristotle's is like one of our.
Like something I would like.
Okay, so let me get to it. So that's not one of our specialty products. So now you get into specialty blends down there. So Aristotle's Logic is our white kratom, but it's also got chaga mushrooms and lion mane mushrooms. So that is like a heavy, like if you want to clean your house, if you got like a project that you want to edit, you pop some Aristotle's Logic, and nobody will hear from you for hours. You'll be locked in. So that is definitely something that.
Is this the one that you had, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I need to know.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Oh, nice,
What'd
nice.
you get? Water?
Nice.
Cheers.
Nice.
Let's get
The
wine.
canned water.
Look
The
at
perfect.
that. So there's Sutter Home. There you go.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Nice.
Mike, shout out to Aquaman.
Aquaman. Let's cheers to this real quick. We cheers our freedom.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, after a nice session.
This
Cheers.
is what I like to do after training my students.
Drink Sutter Home with faded truth. I mean,
Say,
you can't
listen,
go wrong with Sutter.
I'm not going to front on Sutter Home one bit. Not one bit.
You know, one little one, you just like chug it, it'll give you a little quick buzz.
Yep.
Okay, so Mike took this one after Champs, and he almost died. So please tell me what the fuck happened, because he scared me, and I haven't touched the kratom that you gave me.
Okay, this is this is one of our newest products. This is called Lazy Luau. This is kava and kratom. This is like 65-35 kava and kratom. So, are you familiar with kava? Kava root?
I've had kava tea.
Okay, so kava, it's a root. It's the same.
Okay.
So some people have it in roots. Some people brew it in different ways. So
The numbness of it.
it's a alcohol adjacent kind of deal. Like so I have friends that I grew up with at Tongans that like brew kava, and like they'd hand cups of kava out like at celebrations. And so it's like for people that don't drink and you still kind of want to have that same kind of
They have
that
like
kind
the
of deal.
kava things in New York.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So kratom and kava gives you kind of a that same kind of feeling, but a little bit. But the kratom will make you feel alert. So it's a green kratom, so it's more of an alert, kind of relaxed, chill feeling. How much of this did you take, and did you eat before you took this?
I need nothing.
See, that's.
Did you drink the whole bottle?
Oh, murder.
Okay, so that's two things you don't do, right? Off rip, all right?
Wrong dosage.
Yeah, wrong dosage.
stomach.
I wouldn't take any kratom on an empty stomach. I always eat before I take any of it, and this especially. The first time you take it, I'd take half. You can pour like half of it into like a coffee, or pour it into something that would dilute it. You know what I mean, or in the water, or you can pound it, but because it doesn't taste good.
Isn't it supposed to replace coffee though?
No, well, not necessarily.
Because this is my thing. Like I'm caffeine free for probably 5 years now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a fucking coffee boy at the office, and I had this giant mug, and he would make me a giant mug of Bustelo every fucking morning.
Cafe Bustelo.
You know
She's
Bustelo
a real. Oh my god.
Right. So it's espresso.
You use it
doesn't
with
go
your
in a
little
mug,
sock too.
right?
Do you do for real with the little?
And I would be chugging this, right? Zipping around the office, whatever. So after I got off caffeine, I realized like how sensitive my body was to, even with sativas. Like I took out limonene a lot because it would start giving like heart palpitations, like coffee. So that's something that would deter me when it says like, oh, you want to clean your house? Take this. Am I going to be like, is it
No.
coffee?
So no.
It's from the same. It's got the same compounds.
It's
as coffee.
it's a cousin. It's not necessarily the same compounds. It's so like I wouldn't suggest that you if that's how you feel. I wouldn't suggest that you take any green kratom.
Okay.
Because green kratom is like rocket fuel.
Okay.
But the white kratoms that's more of like a focus, more of I hate to use weed terms, more of a head high versus a.
No, I like it.
You know what I mean?
Everyone can relate to it.
Correct,
right?
correct.
So when you say that it's similar to like cannabis, it's easier to understand. 'Cause
Yes.
You have different strains. You have like you said, some were indica, some were sativa. That's why I was just trying to figure it out if I was like wanted to start incorporating this. Into my life.
I think you'd like some Aristotle's Logic. I think that might.
That's the one. How'd you know? Because I love mushrooms too, and I just got chaga to start taking,
Mm-hmm,
and I love lion's mane. So when I read it, I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like a mixture of everything.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That you might like that too. The Indonesia Sunrise. That's some of our brightest whites. Also, the kava is definitely an evening chill out kind of relaxation kind of deal. You wouldn't want to take these if you wanted to like have any energy or really do anything.
So this is good for maybe older people too that want to get sleep.
So then if you want sleep, then I would say like Lazy Law would be good, or like some reds, like that, like you have a Texas red in there, or like we have a red Bali is also a nice like relaxing. So like the red, anything red, right? Like again, red is your hybrid, red is your indicas, green is your sativas, and your white is your hybrids.
Okay. There's a lot in here. What's your favorite way to consume it?
I don't like the taste at all. It's terrible. I'm sorry, I can't dig
Does it
it down.
taste like bitters? Like
It's
herbs?
just like you're chewing powdered leaf. Like it's.
I mean, I'm fucking been drinking bitters and herbs, and
I'm a dry scooper.
I've been in the village, so now I'm like, taste. I feel like taste is relative now.
Well, maybe you like it. Maybe you like it.
Maybe I'd be able to like chug it and have no problem.
I like.
Before I was like holding my nose and try and drink shit.
I do capsules now because I was a dry scooper. Like I dry scoop protein. Sometimes I would dry scoop like pre-workout.
Yeah.
So I thought I could dry scoop Kratom, but you can't. You can't. You can't. It's not
Only
good.
the real ones.
Oh, I can't. Anyway, Jeremy can. Shout out to Jeremy. He can. But I like the capsules. The capsules are good. I mean, even though they're gram-sized capsules, so they're pretty good size. But I can pop 3-4 capsules and then boom, I'm in the game.
Okay, so if I take my white Kratom and I feel like I need to come down, do people get sketched out by it at all? Have you heard any stories, or are people like more?
I think it's all about dosage, and like you got to eat. Like you want. I always say if it's your first time taking Kratom, if you're taking pills, I say like take 2. Give yourself 10-15 minutes. Check in with your body with anything, any new substance you bring in your body.
It's kind of like weed, but I feel like this is something that I would have to pay attention to more.
I would, just because it's new and it does. It touches the same receptors that, for example, like that opioids get connected to, but it doesn't. And I hate to get this technical and then fuck up the wording too. Yeah. But it touches, but it doesn't connect.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense. So that's the difference between the addiction level. Right. Yes.
You're still getting what you need, but it's preventing that attack.
And it's not hanging on, right? It's just like giving you the brush, and then you're out, right? Versus just like
plants over pills.
100%.
So in Indonesia, which is where a lot of the villagers are, it's I was watching the video on 1836.com. It was Kapuas Pulau, Indonesia.
Yes.
There's 135,000 kratom farmers there.
Yes.
So are they trying to take like the land from them in any way? Because I know in the video it was kind of saying like if you do take this from us, like you're taking on our whole economy, like this is something our economy runs off of, and so what's going on?
Well, I think what that is mostly as far as like the industry here, like the creative industry here, for the most part subsidizes like that entire industry there. So it is still a fringe kind of industry. So at any moment, the FDA could be like, oh, we're done with Kratom, and that affects.
That sucks for them because that's like they didn't have to give it to us.
100%.
They could have just kept it for themselves.
100%. But I mean, in the industry of good business, it is what it is because it comes here. So it's a good relationship. We have a great relationship with our farm. Shout out to Edo. And we have a great relationship with our manufacturers, and it's a really good process. We have a warehouse in Austin where we make all of our stuff, our extracts. We mix all of our own powders. We capsule all of our stuff. It's a big warehouse. We get it all done in house.
Okay. And so, what's your favorite kind of Kratom?
Fighters Full Potential. So that's how I started because I was trying to get off of caffeinated pre-workout. I didn't want to feel. You already know.
That and fucking what, Redline?
I was Redline, or there's another one, C4, and.
I'm telling you, I really fucked my shit up when I was competing and just training in general. I was just.
It's just because you get to the point where like that becomes part of your routine, right? Like, all right, I got to grab this, and then I get on my way to the gym, and then.
Fucking 20 minutes till I start shaking.
Yeah, and then it's like
a good hour
and then you got to start dry scooping C4 like because the dry scooping and then washing it down with Rise. Yeah, like that's where I was trying to back down off of. And then so because I don't like the taste of Kratom, I was going to one of the specialty products it's a super green Kratom. It's got like turmeric and I think there's some egg and cinnamon, but there's cinnamon in it. So it's got a little bit of a different kind of taste, but I was taking it super green Kratom, and I was just like, all right, well, let me just see how this goes. And I was getting some of those same feelings. I'm not going to say like it was a complete, absolute one-for-one swap, but I get the sustained energy. Like it kicks in mid-workout. Like I feel like, all right, boom. I don't ever feel like I'm looking for energy. I'm locked in, and it doesn't. I can take it at like 8 o'clock if I have a late gym session. I'm not up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you do get the naturalness.
I'm excited to test it. I just been so like turned off after coffee that I'm like anything that's like trying to give me a jolt of energy. I'm like I'm scared.
Well, agreed. And so like so these ones, there's one in there that's Kratom and caffeine. I would say stay away from that. Stay away from the green means go.
I like the kava though mixed because when I was on a tea kick for like maybe 2 months because I was like, oh, this is something to replace coffee maybe. But like then I just fell off. But I was drinking that kava tea, and I was like, oh, my whole mouth is like numb, and I'm like, well, I guess this is cool before I go to bed.
Yeah, it's a cool little trade-off, right? Like your mouth gets numb and start to do a little bit of that. Yeah, no, kava has been, especially the kava and Kratom. That's definitely a big one. This is one of our most popular items.
Do you have like a favorite story of like somebody healing with Kratom besides? I know you talked about the guy that came off alcohol, but have you heard anything crazy that's like stuck out to you?
I mean, that story specifically. That's why I tell it because like he
was definitely an alcoholic.
Yeah, and I mean, like, had gotten arrested, like, gotten fired from WWE. Like, I don't want to say nobody's name or whatever, but got fired from a pretty decent job, and it was causing major issues in his life, and has completely turned it around. And when I heard that he turned it around, and it's a good friend of mine, like I really like him a lot, and I was sad to see it, but like to see that Kratom was the catalyst for all that, I was like, damn, it's not just this or just that or just this. People can find it where, it's really medicine. And that's what I dig about this company. It's not necessarily about, hey, take this shot and get fucked up. Take this, you know what I mean?
Were really, like, even, like I said, Liz pulled out the whole thing, and I'm like, wow, everything's really detailed here. Like, you guys I went on the site and looked around, and I'm like, you really want to promote this to people. It's like, you do your research, because your whole thing is research, reflect, decide, right? So you're really promoting people, like, learn what the fuck you're taking, learn about what it is. I mean, I feel like you actually do more than cannabis companies do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take it. So.
Well, because it's is it for you or not, right? This is more of a wellness thing, like, and it's not like, well, take this. Which one of these is for you? Is it raining?
I don't know. I'm like, what's more?
I'm like, is that rain? That's crazy as hell.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, that's rain.
Where are we? Oh, where are we?
That's crazy.
Anymore. I'm back in Jersey. I fucking hate it.
It's Florida. This is Florida weather.
Oh my god. Guys, we just got over this rain. We just got over it. Fuck. Alright. So, you're also a TV personality. Your wrestlers are going to love this. Because you're on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Real Housewives. You even did a Chippendales scene somewhere in Vegas.
Oh, I worked at Chippendales for 4 years.
You were there for 4 years?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. So, I want to start with The Bachelor because, like, these shows, when people watch them, I never really, like, watched them. I was just like, all right, everyone's just the same person, just trying to fuck with the same person, I guess.
Right, right.
So tell me, how was your experience on that? I know you left early.
I dug it. It was a great experience. It was one of those things where I was just open to the opportunity. I wasn't like, oh man, I'm going to go and I'm going to marry this girl. I'm going to make this girl marry me whether she wants to or not. You know what I mean? Like, it was just one of those things where, like, if this is the woman that I'm going to marry, then this is the way that it happened, and I'm open to it, right? It didn't happen, obviously, which is fine, but I met, the process, the people that I got to meet, the opportunities that came from it. It's not scripted. Nobody's ever said to me, well, they'll say to you, hey, how do you feel about this guy? Do you think he's a dick? So they'll try to get you to say whatever, but nobody ever handed me a script and said, hey, do this or say this. I feel like and I'm past my NDA, so I can say this. I feel like it's just really good casting. They got it down to a science as far as like, oh, let me get her because I don't think she'll like her. Oh, you know what?
Right.
He's going to rub him the wrong way. And so it's because you ultimately, like, it's a love story, right? And a love story only involves like one and two, maybe three people. But the rest of everybody is just side stories and filler and entertainment, while background entertainment for the love story. So that's what the casting really is. It's psychology and casting, while saying, well, what are the supporting cast, what are the supporting players while we, push this love story.
Did you feel like you had any real connections on Bachelorette or Bachelor?
No. No. I mean, look, it was a shout out to everybody. Everybody's cool. But I'm a little older too, so I'm just on some different stuff. So it was just it was
you
cool.
Haven't found the one yet?
I have not found the one yet. I got close.
And with your Chippendale days,
No.
do you have any crazy stories?
Yeah.
Like, what's your craziest thing that a woman has tried to do to you? Because women, like, okay, so it's like different. Like strip clubs, like women be like, oh, men are nasty, but like in a male strip club, women don't give a fuck, right? It's like open everything. They be grabbing everything. They be just it's disrespectful.
So women are absolutely worse than men. So Chippendales is a little different. So it's like it's there's no like solo dances or like lap dances. It's all like stage choreography. I don't know if you've ever been to have you ever been to Chippendales?
Yeah.
Okay, so the only time that we ever get harassed or molested is when we go into the crowd or whatnot. So and that's harass and molest time. So but the things that men would absolutely get beat up by bouncers if they did in a strip club, women are just like, what? There's nothing wrong with it. Yes, I got my hand in your underwear, right. So it's a weird thing. But women have fun.
You ever reminisce on those days?
No, I mean, listen. Here's the fun thing. We get together sometimes, me and some of the Chippendale boys. We laugh, and the fun thing is we just talk about the things the fun that we had on stage, and then the things that we try to make each other laugh and crack up or mess up the choreography more so than any of the crazy screaming women, which was a good perk for a time. But it's really the memories and the relationships that you build that I felt that's what I took with me. And you got a couple of absolutely insane stories here and there.
Okay, so I want to get back into the wrestling. So you currently still wrestle for Impact?
I do. I'm the current digital media champion. DMC! See, she did it. She already knows.
I know. I'm that's the loudest you've been this whole interview. Okay, so what's your character?
You're going to put me on blast in front of... Well, the character or the storyline? Which one?
I need both.
So Kenny King is a world-class athlete that has an issue because everywhere he's gone, he's been fantastically successful. But humility, he only learns from the deepest sense of humility, or the pits of the fall. So. Throughout my career, my character has always been right there, and it has been something probably through my own overlooking or my own carelessness or my own confidence that has caused me to come up short one way or the other. When I haven't come up short, it's all due to my supreme confidence and nothing else. So that is... So how that adds into right now is I'm the digital media champion, and I've decided that the digital media championship is way more important than the world championship or the X Division championship because I'm champion of digital media. It reaches way more people. It goes out into space, which actually when you put this on the internet, it's going to go into space, which is going to go to the galaxy, which is going to be all in trillions of homes and on alien laptops. So that's why the digital media championship is just it. Way, I mean, not even people.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about people, aliens and Borgs and whoever else is out there. They watch your boy get busy.
Okay, so that's the character.
That's the character.
Okay, so now do you have a partner or?
No, it's just me. I have a young Padawan who I'm grooming to come up like Kenny King.
Okay. Where can we watch you wrestle? Kenny King?
You can watch Kenny King on Impact Wrestling Thursday nights on Access TV. Check me out. I don't know when this is going to come out.
First week of September.
So I will have just by this point defended my digital media championship on pay-per-view live from Toronto Sunday, August 29th.
When's your
August 29th. Sunday, August 29th, I think, right?
Oh, okay. No, so the 27th?
Sunday, August 27th.
Okay. So you said you will just have defeated. You already know.
I mean, I already know. Why don't you already know?
Is there like, I know you said you liked Hulk Hogan, but was there like a rivalry that was like your favorite or favorite storyline that you like loved watching? So I'm gonna take that back. She didn't say, she's not gonna say on God internet that I like Hulk Hogan. I liked Hulk Hogan when I was a kid, but my like for Hulk Hogan is gone.
It's not as strong as. And if you know, you know. That's all I'm. If you know, you know. You ain't gonna put me on the internet talking about Kenny King likes Hulk Hogan and just sound like that. My favorite of all time, probably, and this is a little bit later on. My favorite rivalry of all time is two guys from a company called ECW, which was like it was like a scrappy young company that was just kind of like trying to compete with the big boys at that time. But it was a guy named Rob Van Dam, a guy named Jerry Lynn, were just fantastic like athletes. And so like Rob Van Dam was like a martial artist, kind of like Jean-Claude Van Damme kind of style, and Jerry Lynn was just like a everyman technician, and they just had some amazing battles. So that was like when I was a kid, I was like, man, those motherfuckers right there, like they're the best wrestlers in the world. And then at some point in my career, I got to wrestle and beat both of those guys. So
oh shit, full circle.
Yeah. 10-year-old Kenny was like, yes.
I think it's so funny though, because like whenever I do talk to wrestlers, or like I just like think back of when I was on my bed or my couch or whatever, and I'm like, it's just crazy how you like make your dream come true. And like most people, you know, they don't enjoy their life because they're doing shit they hate. Like no one likes fucking going to a 9 to 5. No one likes not being able to do their passion, you know.
100%.
So it's like when people actually can do it and make money off of it. That's like when you can monetize your passion. There's like nothing like it.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
So I'm happy for you that you like came to this point, and you know, shout out to all your wrestlers here that like really, you know, they understand, they respect you, and like they want to learn from you.
Shout out to my students. Y'all are good. Not too good though, but y'all are good.
Do you have a favorite wrestling move?
Yes, I do. It's called the Royal Flush.
Can you show it to me?
Yes, I can.
Does anyone want to?
Oh, do you want me to? Do you want me to
do it to you? You're gonna fuck me up.
Well, I can't hit you with it, but I can show you the motion. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So I would pick you up on my shoulders, and then I would kind of like swing you out, and then like slam you on your back.
Anybody want to get slammed? He said no.
They're smart. They're smart.
Is there a move that you hate doing?
I don't like. I really don't like jumping off the top rope.
Really?
It's dangerous up there. You know how high? Once you stand up there, I tell you what. I would. When we're done, I'll get you up there and you can see how high it is up there. I don't like jumping off the top rope, and I don't like dropping my elbow.
You don't like elbow?
Mm-mm.
I love because I do Muay Thai, so I'm like I love fucking.
Well, it's different throwing elbows than dropping one. Yeah.
And then you might like hit it on this.
Because then you got to hit your hip. I mean, knock on wood, nothing specific. Like I've been wrestling for 20 years, so I'm pretty much fucked up for the rest of my life. But knees, ankles, I separated both my shoulders. I'm pretty sure my meniscus is in there somewhere. But overall, for right now, for everything, I feel great. Thank God.
And you got Kratom for recovery.
And I got Lazy Luau for active recovery. I tried some Lazy Luau today.
Did you have a good time?
I did. Thank you very much. This was super dope. I enjoyed my wine.
I know I came and interrupted y'all's stuff, so I appreciate y'all. So if we want to see the future stars of wrestling, when do they perform?
Oh yeah, well come to check out. It might be futurestarsofwrestling.com. I think futurestarsofwrestling.com. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The next show, which won't be by the time this comes out. So the show after this comes out will be Survival of the Fittest, I think, right? Future Stars of Wrestling presents Survival of the Fittest, September 10th, and that will be at 7 p.m. Jerry Silver Nugget. If you want to see some of the best up-and-coming pro wrestlers with some of the best current pro wrestlers, Future Stars of Wrestling is where it's at.
Thank you so much for having us here. Thank you, Kenny King, for sitting down with me and
ending
the season 4. It's been a long season, y'all. I'm happy to take a break.
Congratulations on 4 seasons, though. That's dope. That's really dope.
Shout out to my BTS. I think he left. He got babies. He got a lot of things to cater to. You know, that life.
It happens. Shout out.
I'm gonna let y'all get back to it, but I appreciate you being here. Thank y'all for watching. Until next time.
Thank
Peace.
you. KINGQ.
Was it DB what?
Oh, DMC, the digital media champion, DMC. But
You don't have a belt?
You know what's crazy? I was like, on the way over here, I was like, I should have brought my belt.
You should have brought the belt.
I should have brought the belt.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Well, Nick Xander gets some revenge against AJ Avon, but he's still waiting for the big boss. What the? Wait a minute.
I thought Jay wasn't here. I thought he was at the airport.
How quick was that flight? Maybe Jay shouldn't have come out here because Xander's seeing red. Sends him off. Oh, look at that. Look at AJ Avon saving the day for Daddy.
Cause we outside. Dollar, dollar, I'm a Pioneer City baby. Nana tried to save me, but I go where they pay me. Yeah, the flow is wavy, deeper than the Navy. And the bass kicking like a D-boy in the 80s. Yeah, my whole family spent time on that grimy block. Outside 24, ducking shots, not a shotty clock. Look out, keep a shotty cocked. Act foul, get 2 body shots. Shorty said, please fly me out. Said she wanna try me out. Future bright, I'm shining now. I'm profound, she finding out. Best in the world, especially when the stars align. She asked me my horoscope and I said $.